Welcome back to Top 5, the segment here on VGHL where a cast member gives you a list on a topic of their choosing. In honor of the announced release of Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain and the craziness that's been going on between Konami and Kojima as of late, this is my list for the top 5 Metal Gear games. Number 5, Metal Gear, the game that kicked it all off. Metal Gear, released in Japan for the MSX2 and in the States for the NES. It's where everything began. It's Snake's rookie mission under the command of Big Boss, infiltrating Outer Heaven to rescue Gray Fox and destroy a nuclear-capable Metal Gear. In a time where every game seemed to either want you to just kill everything on screen or rack up points, Metal Gear came out and told the player instead to value stealth and patience and made you think before you acted. Also, for many, it was the first taste of the certain flair with which Hideo Kojima makes his games, including a moment where Big Boss, who's kind of starting to act a little shady, and turns out to be the villain, just tells the player to turn off their console. It was different, and it was, and is, as I realized while playing through it again for this list, a lot of fun. Number 4, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. How do you make a Metal Gear game without Kojima? By upping the awesome, that's how. Despite a kind of stupid name, and I'm sorry, Revengeance? Really? Whatever. This game turns up the insanity to 11. With the player becoming Raiden, the Metal Gear Solid 4 badass version, not the Metal Gear Solid 2 pretty boy. With all of his cyborg ninja skills, and that means you get to destroy everything. Metal Gear Ray, sliced. The cybernetic spine of your enemy, shattered. Evil conniving watermelons, chopped in half. This game's MO was crazy, and that was constantly on display, possibly at its best with the fight against a cybernetically enhanced senator from the great state of Texas. In a series that prides itself on insanity, Revengeance might just take the crown in it. Number 3, Metal Gear Solid 2. Sure, this game is most famous for Kojima coming and trolling everybody by switching the player from the badass Solid Snake after the first mission to some blonde guy. But once you got past that surprise, you got everything you could possibly want in a Metal Gear game. Want all amazing boss battles? Here's a roller skating fat guy with a ton of bombs, a Harrier jump jet, and not 1, not 2, but 3 Metal Gears for you to fight. Want a crazy convoluted story? Here's a traitorous former president who also happens to be your adopted father who leads a terror organization to overthrow a massive global conspiracy where it turns out that AI are actually running the world. Want sneaking around in boxes? You've got sneaking around in boxes. Number 2, Metal Gear Solid 4. God, I love this game. And yes, despite there being over 9 hours of cutscenes, it is still a game. Metal Gear Solid 4 is the culmination of the Metal Gear Solid games, with an artificially aged, battle-worn Solid Snake taking on a world of enemies and trying to stop the armies of Liquid Ocelot, and both of them fighting to take down the Patriots, the shadow organization that runs the world through the war economy. The gameplay is stellar, taking advantage of everything the PS3 has to offer. The game's also beautiful, brilliantly complex, and has a divine soundtrack. However, I think the best way to talk about this game is to just talk about one boss battle in particular. In a series that's just famous for its boss battles, the final fight between Solid Snake and Liquid Ocelot might be the most rewarding fight in video game history. A slugfest on top of the battleship Outer Haven starts with 4 minutes of brutal cutscenes before transitioning into the actual fight, which itself is in 4 parts, all themed on the 4 Metal Gear Solid games. The music, fighting style, and even camera work are all based on those previous games, culminating in Section 4, the fight based on Guns of the Patriots itself. In my opinion, this game is the greatest send-off to a character in the history of gaming, better than Shepard in Mass Effect 3 or Ezio in Assassin's Creed Revelations. Nothing can beat this game. Nothing, except our number 1. And that number 1 is Metal Gear Solid 3. The creme de la creme of Metal Gear comes with Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. It is the perfect balance of everything you could possibly want in a Metal Gear game. It's got everything that makes a Metal Gear game great. All of the things I've complimented the previous games for, it brings in spades. Phenomenal gameplay, a perfectly executed story, and as it's clear I can't talk about any of these games without mentioning boss fights, Snake Eater has the largest number of phenomenal boss fights of any Metal Gear game, and now I think about it, maybe any game series ever. Battling the End, possibly the most unique boss battle ever, you know, hunting down his old guy sniper where the possibility of him dying of old age is actually a thing. The satisfying fight against Volgin and his electric powers and the giant Shagohod, and my personal favorite, the battle against the Sorrow. He's dead before you start the fight. The entire fight, you never actually hit him, and you spend the entire time wading through a river. So why is this a great fight, you may ask? Because as you wade through that river, dodging the Sorrow's terrifying energy blasts, which, by the way, do this, you encounter the souls of everyone you've killed in the game up to this point. This is a powerful message because the point of Metal Gear is to sneak around and not kill anyone. And if you treat this game like any other shooter, the river will drag on forever. For me, it's a perfect game, a real 10 out of 10, and Snake Eater is a fitting #1 for this list. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go play it again. Back to you guys.